A new site builder just dropped, and this one's checking off all the boxes for a professional web design workflow. We got the class-based styling, variables, components, very clean, fast code, and a very designer-first feel to it, which is great for those of us who are more visual when building our websites. This is Mosaic Builder. While other older legacy page builders like Elementor and Divi are trying to achieve a professional web design workflow, Mosaic Builder has been built this way from day one. In this video, we're going to check out some of the cool stuff. We are going to take a look at the variables. Then we're going to check out the classes and then the components. We're also going to take a look at the themes as well, because Mosaic has a very interesting approach on how it uses themes. It's actually a theme builder. And then we're going to take a look at the builder's UI. And a real quick disclaimer, you know me, I got to keep it real. This is a sponsored video. I did partner with Mosaic on it, but I only took this partnership because I thought this looked really interesting, and I'm glad I did. Because after diving in and using it for a couple of weeks now, I could see myself using this as one of my go-to tools in the future. So I do look forward to creating more content on Mosaic Builder because I'm going to be using it more. And if you would like to see more content, let me know inside of the description. I'd be happy to create more videos on it. I want to hear from you, so definitely leave a comment and let me know. Here's who created Mosaic. This is a team behind Nextend. It's a team from Hungary. They created Smart Slider, the Nextend social login. And here's the thing, they're not a giant company who is held to the whims of investors, and it's not a solo super talented developer behind the screen coding away. I think that is important to highlight. And right now, you can get the 10 site license for free for a year. So you could go ahead and give it a try. No strings attached, which is pretty cool. And then you could also get the LTD for $199 on the unlimited websites. Now, let's jump into the builder. When you install Mosaic, you're going to install it as a plugin. But before I activate it, I just want to go here to the themes and show we only have one theme, which is the default 2025. Back over to plugins, let's go ahead and activate this. And now we're going to set up inside of the wizard. Deselect that, go ahead and choose a theme. Like I said, the themes are very interesting here because we have a few choices. First, we could install pre-built themes. And this has a bunch of templates already ready to go. They are well designed, pretty clean. We have that one. We have this one right over here. But if you want to create your own without the pre-installed theme, you could use the blank, which is basically going to be like a wireframe. And I'm going to leave a link to Paul from WP Tuts. He already created a video on this showing how the wireframe works, which I think is going to be a good complimentary video if you really want to understand this a bit more. Then we have one more option, and we have the empty theme. Now for me, this is probably the way I am going to go because I like to create my own frameworks. I like to create my own systems. And if you're like me wanting to build your own frameworks, your own design systems, you could build the empty theme and then you could use that as a starter theme for all the rest of your projects. Now, I'm going to use one of the pre-built themes because it already has design systems, variables, classes, all that stuff pre-built. So this way we could get a jump start on learning it and seeing how this works. I'm going to choose a monolith and I'll choose the agency site. So let's go ahead and select it. First, we got to activate it. And this is cool. It identified that this is built on my local. So it's going to activate it and not count towards anything. So we are good to go. I'll activate that. And then we could go through the wizard. Now, we got the live and test, and the reason why we have these is because we could actually install multiple themes by Mosaic. But we're going to just start with the one, go with the wizard, and it's going to install and set everything up. And in the wizard, we're setting up the actual design system. We could go ahead and choose dark mode. We could choose light mode. You can see the actual design here. We could set up our brand colors, but I'm just going to skip ahead because we are going to do this using our classes and variables. And we start off here in the templates because we did use one of the pre-built themes. We got some templates. We got our masters. Now the masters, this is going to be for our header and footer. We're able to create new masters, set them conditionally. It's just done a bit differently. And real quick, let me jump over here to themes because now we can see we got the monolith agency theme. This is the one that we installed. So like I said, it is a unique approach. Back over here, we have our components, some pre-built components that came along with the theme. Let's go to our pages. Let's edit inside Mosaic. And now let's take a look at the variables and see how that works. First off, did you notice how quick that was? This is something that really stands out. I'm gonna go back out. Let's exit out of WordPress. Let's go back over here to edit in Mosaic. Look how fast that loads. And if I go up here to edit with masters, now I could edit the header. I could edit the footer as well. And you see how just seamless it is. I could go back to the template. The template, this is going to be the content in the page. This is your page build. We're going to go here, edit, and there's no refreshing. It's very fast and seamless. Now, let's go up over here and check out the variables. Up here inside of the settings, but click it, go to style variables, and here we have our variable manager. First off, we have all of our different options, and this is a pre-built version. We could build ours custom from the ground floor up, but we have categories. We could change this from light to dark mode with our colors, so we can do dark mode or light mode websites as well, already built in. If we were to go to, let's say, our font family, we could go in here and we have our fonts. And this is where we are going to also install our fonts if we want to add custom fonts. Let's go back out and let's take a look at our typography. We can see that we have our font sizes. We even have our clamps, which is ready to go as well. Now let's go over here to our spacing. And from here, I could customize this to fit my own personal design system, organize it a bit more. I'm going to click on this icon and I'm going to call this gaps. All right, so we got our gaps, and then I can move all these into the gaps. So this way I have it organized. Then I'm going to go in and I could rename this. I'm going to call this one space XXXL, because this is just how I name my variables. And then to make sure it's my naming going into the source code, I'm going to click on this and let me remove this. And now this is what's going to show inside of the source code. So now I could do more. Since it's spacing, maybe I want to do some max widths in here. Let me add in another variable. I'm going to call this one max widths. And then from here, I'm going to click plus and start to add in my variable. So this is going to be a max width 1000. I use this quite often. I'm going to put 1000 pixels. I would convert this to rem though. You could click on it, go ahead and convert it. And then I'm going to set my naming up. And then I could create the rest of my max widths. And you can see we could just organize these and set up our own design systems, our own variables, the way that we like. This way, if we're designing like this inside of Figma and we build out systems, which I do, we could keep these pretty much the same inside of the website as it is in Figma with our variables. As you can see here, my max widths, or if I go to my gaps, I have my spaces right here, and I could create these pretty much the same across both the way that I'm building the website inside of Mosaic and inside of my design in Figma. Then when we want to change this, when we select an item, now we could go over to our font size under typography, and you're going to see this icon right here. For our variables, you could click on it and it's pretty smart. It already detects the category, and now we could choose which variable to attach to it. Not only that, let's go ahead and click on it. And when we hover over our variables, we could see the values that it has. Now let's check out classes. And this is where we start to see the power really kick in. We're going to have our classes up here inside of this box. Now there is quite a bit of a learning curve. First off, we're going to have our elements up here. Then we have our utilities and our custom classes. Let me go through each of those so that way it makes better sense and you can see how this really works. First off, if you want to create a class, just go and click a plus. Let me actually find a card. This is what I want to do. I want to turn this into a class. I'm going to go up and click plus. Now I'm going to click card. And now the element class, this is going to be like for your button. This is going to be for something that has multiple styles to it. And we're going to create subclasses because when you see how this works, it really speeds up the whole workflow. So first with this card, I'm going to create my default styles. Over here in my spacing, I am going to first link this side to side, which is something I've been asking Elementor to do forever, but we already got it set here, so that is pretty great. And we could go ahead and set up a variable for this. So I'm going to go to my gaps, and I am going to put let me see, just the 12 pixels, top and bottom now. And let's make sure we have those linked. So those are linked now. Let's go to our sides, and I'm going to link up those sides. Let's go to our variables, and I'm going to put... Let me put 12 pixels on the side. Now let's go down here and put a background color. So again, I'm going to use my variables for this. I'll put something a little bit light. I'm making it a little bit darker just so we could see it. For our border and our border radius, let's go again, choose that variable. I'll put the small for right now, because we're going to create subclasses and you're going to see how this speeds things up. Let's go ahead and put an outline. We will create one again with a variable, and they already got one created. We could create another one, but it's all good. This is where we'll take a little bit more time. Okay, so we have our card. Now I could go here and I could choose card, and we could set this up as well. And we could search for it and then choose cards. So we got our cards, that's great. So now let's create another variation of this card. And I'm gonna go back over, click on the plus, and I'm gonna call this card L. Now let's make sure we're selecting this card L. And I'm gonna go back over here to my spacing, and let's create a large space here. So I'm gonna click on this variable. Let's go to the large. Now let's get our side padding, and I'm just going to create it a step up. Let's just do that. So I'll click on this, make sure we select on both sides. And now let's go over to our radius. We'll choose a larger radius just so it's easy and visual to see. So now we have the main element class, which is going to be our default. And then we have our other variation. Let's create one more variation. What I'm going to do is actually duplicate this and make it go faster. This time I'm going to call this card extra small. And then we're going to style this one up. We're going to change the variables. I'm going to give it a very tight spacing on it, just so this way it's easy to see. Here's where the whole workflow really is very efficient. What I could do is just go right here in this box, click down, find my row. I got my card. Let me actually move this out of the way so it's easier to see. And you can see we got our card. And then we have our subclasses here, so we could choose our subclasses. This way we could create multiple subclasses and quickly choose between them. Let's go and do the same thing here. I'm going to move this out of the way as well so we could see, and I'm just going to go to my card large and check it out inside something already built out like the buttons. So we could go to our button, and you can see you could create multiple subclasses and then subclasses within those. This is going to make things so much faster when we are building our websites. And then we could go up here again to this icon and go to our classes. We can see all of the classes we have here. We could go to our buttons. We could see what we have. We could even go in, duplicate, rename. We could assign the CSS class, which is going to be the name that goes inside of the source code. Keep in mind, this just came out of beta. This is the first launch, and I did see on the roadmap they will be updating and improving their class manager. But this gives a good look and feel to see what is it going to be like when we build out our own design system and when we are working inside of something like a design system like this. You can see how quickly we could go through and change everything. And it took a little while of playing around with it, but after going through it, I just found this to be really easy to use. Now let's go ahead and make some components. So I'm going to go back down to my card. I'm going to go to this small card that I made, right click it, create a component. Pretty much that easy. I'll just call it card S. And then we have our different options. We could create a whole page, block, or part. I'm going to leave it on a part. I am going to create a category for this. I'm going to call this my cards because I use these a lot. I could even set my icons, but I'll leave it as it is. Create that. Now I'll do the same here. Let's right click, create a component. And this one is going to be card L. And then I'm going to choose my part. Oh, let me go ahead and select cards. Create. And now if I want to add a new one, let's go into the plus, add in a section. From here, I am going to drop in a component. And then I have my options here, and you can see we could categorize our components and really build out a proper design system with this. We could go in, edit our instance, and this is where we could get a bit more granular. And like I said earlier, I would like to create more content on this. So if this is something you want to see more in depth, let me know. Another thing, just really quick to note. First, let me go back here to my templates. We're going to double click on the text, and from here we could edit it, and then you're going to see we do have the dynamic data. Now if you want to see more about this, Paul went into it quite a bit more. Again, his video is inside of the description. You can see more on how the dynamic data works. It's pretty good. I'll just leave it at that, but you could learn more about it. But real quick, this is just to give a good first view of what actually this is doing from a professional web design approach. And one thing that I did notice is looking at the UI, you can see we have our navigator here, but then we have all of our properties and our styling over on the right. Very much like Figma. That's exactly what we have here. So I found this design approach inside of building a website with a builder inside of WordPress to have a learning curve, but it started to click after using it a bit more. Definitely getting used to the classes and the variables, again, has its learning curve, but once you start to get it down and start to see how we could build this out, we could actually build our own design systems, our own frameworks. And then it is completely reusable by treating this as a design system theme and being able to start off with that theme across your projects. Now, there's a lot more in this. I could make hours of content on it for sure. We got the timeline, animations, we got a whole bunch of stuff in this. But let's take a look at the roadmap real quick, because I find this really interesting. Since this did just launch, we can see exactly what is coming inside of Mosaic. They're going to be doing more with the theme level utility classes. And real quick, I did not show this, but we can go back up to the classes. We already looked at the element. For the utility, this is just going to be like a one-off class. Let's say we only want this to do one thing, like a border radius, which we already have some created here. But right now I did communicate with the team and they are working on something to improve the classes using open props. So that's on the way. We also got the form element. We have something with the typography clamps coming up. There is a lot going on, so I'll let you check it out. You could go to the website. But if we take a look on what is coming, you can see that they are making this, they're getting ready for WooCommerce support. They're getting ready for integrations, ACTP with Jet Engine, pods. They're getting ready for an improved class manager, and they're also getting ready for a custom element API. This means third-party developers are going to be able to come in and start expanding. So this just launched, and even at MCP as well. The roadmap for me was quite impressive. This was really important to see where they are going. So that's a first look at Mosaic Builder. Can you see yourself using this? You can try it for free right now. Get a full free year, no strings attached, which is pretty cool. And if you do want to see more, let me know. I'd be happy to create more content on it. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.